Hello. Welcome to Lori's Classroom Stories and Crochet.
Okay, so it was requested in the live that I show Mikey from the Crochet Crowd's way to deal with tails when you're changing colors at the end of each row. So this is going to be part of the mosaic. At least the mosaics I've watched already are all change the color at the end of each row. So I just grabbed some scrap green and red. So I'm going to just make a row of foundation double crochets. And this is totally scrap, so I will just cut the yarn and I don't care because it's scrap anyway. Let me just do like 10. So I will walk through this since we're tutorial mode, I guess. You yarn over, you go through these 2 loops, you pull up a loop. Then what I do is I kind of pinch right here, yarn over, go through 1. That makes your chain. So I pinch that chain. Then yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. Yarn over, go through that quote-unquote chain that was created by only going through 1 loop. Okay. So then yarn over, pinch it here. That's what I do. Yarn over, go through 1. Now I move where I'm pinching. I pinch that just because that's my chain. And then yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go through 2. Yarn over, go through those 2 loops at the bottom that I pinched. Pull up a loop. Yarn over, pull through 1. Move where you're pinching, pinch that. That one I tightened down a little bit, so I'm going to actually loosen it up a little so it's easier for me to see where that stitch is, and I'm going to pinch that. And then yarn over, pull through 2, pull through 2. So this is a foundation double crochet, and it does not matter how many stitches I'm doing here. This process, again, I will credit where I saw it. It was Crochet Crowd. I'll even find the lesson where he did it, the blanket tutorial where he did it, and I will link it in the description box. But this is a foundation double crochet. So this is fair game for anyone. His technique might be fair game for anyone, but I do want to, since I did see it on his channel, I want to acknowledge that. And I'll even, like I said, I'll link the specific tutorial. See, this yarn is just a scrap. That's literally all it is. It feels like Super Saver, but I don't know that it's Super Saver, but that's what it feels like. All right. That's probably enough. I might not have chained on the previous one. Okay. Is that enough? Yeah. That's enough. I'll count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 11. That's fine. All right. So in the mosaic, I'd get to the end of whatever row I just did, and I would finish it off. Now, if you're watching Fiber Fox Studios, I will also link her in the description box. She does a chain 2 to finish her row. Whatever you do, just however you finish off. And then I'm going to cut it, okay? Because this is what you're going to have to do in mosaic. But I do not like dealing with tails. I'm actually going to do this at the front and the back of this one. Well, you know what? For now, I'm going to actually leave that tail. It's fine. My slip knot tail. It's technically down here. It needs to be woven in at the bottom. Okay, so what you do is you take that tail, and it's not that I'm crocheting, I just don't want to grab a needle. I don't want to grab anything that I don't already have. I want this to be as easy as possible. And I pull it through. So it's under those 2. I feel, I think it's close enough. Okay, then I'm going to come back the other way, grab that, pull it through. So now you can kind of see there's that extra loop. And then part of the reason I want to leave that slip knot tail is that way I know this is my front. Okay. All right, and then pull the other direction, go into the next stitch, pull it through. I'm not sewing. You would normally do this with a needle, right? But I'm literally going through the stitches, and I will show you why. We're going to do another row to see why. We want whatever we decide not to weave in like this to hang out the back side, so that tail is important. And you just want to make sure you go opposite directions each stitch. Presumably your piece is going to be longer than this, but you don't have to weave it in as many times as I just did. But now I'm in the front. I need that tail, the leftover tail, hanging out the back. Now, I'm not going to cut this yet. And I'm going to show you why. Because some of that will shift a little bit as we do this next step. Now we're going to tie on our yarn. And again, this is that random scrap that was in the sleeve. Want to tie on. This is how the mosaic that I've been watching works. So I'm going to come in this first stitch. Now she uses a slip knot. This is another thing that I learned on, I think, that same tutorial. I pull it through just with the two, and then I chain one by pulling through both. Okay, and then I'm gonna work over that tail like normal. I'm gonna ignore the green tail for now, but I'll show you as soon as we get to where there's some green tail. Okay. All right, let's just do single crochets for the heck of it. All right. All right. So that's US terms. Okay, so see right there, that's where that tail is coming through. Okay, I'm going to pull it down. I'm going to make sure to go underneath that, pull up a loop, and then do my single. Then again, I want to make sure I get under that tail. So I need actually 3 pieces on top of my, you can kind of see it there, that there's 3 on top that I'm going underneath. And so this stitch is then cinching that down. And then there you can see it. You can see there's the extra. I want to make sure I go under that and then pull through. And then make sure I get under all 3 there. And then there's that extra. Go underneath that as well as the stitch and go through. And then underneath and go through. Now, I think this would work with back loop, but you're going to have to be really conscious of where that tail piece is. I mean, you can't see it at all because it's the same color yarn, right? It just disappears in the work. I'll have to think about if you would be able to do a back loop. I don't know. And then we would tie off. And notice I don't have a tail anymore, except right there. Now it's in there. I'm going to kind of pull my work, and I'm going to go ahead and cut that off. And that my little mini scraps go over in a cup. Okay. And then I would do the same thing. I'd tie off, weave it through, and then go to my next row. So that is how you don't end up with, see, that green tail is gone. My cat's food is dropping. Sorry about that. And then this, I could weave through a little bit through the back, but I would go ahead and actually use a yarn needle on that tail. I didn't do a very good job of covering it up. So that is how I do that. Again, I'll link both the people. The mosaic person that I'm watching is Fiberfox Studios, recommended by Queen's Craft by Bridget. And then this technique of weaving in the tail when you're changing yarn at the end of the row is from Mikey from the Crochet Crowd. And I will link the specific blanket that I learned this technique in. And then he also does that thing instead of using a slip knot. I think it's in the same video. That's less important here, but I wanted to show you that because with Mosaic March, not having 5 million tails, I know is everybody's, or at least is my preference, and I was asked to go ahead and show that. The back doesn't look as nice. You can see that. The back almost looks like a waistcoat stitch, doesn't it? That's funny. In a way, it looks kind of nice, but this is the front side, and I know that. That's why I don't want to weave that in. I could have done some things to weave that in, but I want to know where's my front corner. All right. No funny stories at the moment that I can think of. Life is funny every day. And any math for crochet suggestions you want, please let me know. I've gotten a couple suggestions, so I will play with that. And then if you want to participate in Armchair Chef's, the Mosaic March is Camille's Creations. Armchair Chef is doing March Craft Madness. So all the different crafts. So not just crochet or even yarn necessarily. And then So Magical Michelle in collaboration with Armchair Chef is doing Pie Day. So crochet a pie. I've got a very mathy way I'm going to crochet for that. So you all can stay tuned for that. I got to have that done by the 14th. So I got 10 days. That's no problem. I can have that one done in 10 days because of what my idea is. All right. Sorry, my cats just had a squabble because they're food obsessed and they were squabbling over the little scraps of food that were still left in their food bowls. They're ridiculous. Thank you so much for stopping in. Sorry that got way out of focus. How obnoxious. I am so sorry. Well, I think that's it for the moment. Let me know if we need anything different or more clarity or maybe different lighter, brighter yarns. If this wasn't clear, I will happily do it again.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. See you next time.